that very clearly. Now I'm speaking, it's myself, not even PNU or whatever, it's myself. In the understanding by laymen and those who are educated, you need peace in order to talk about who you are going to punish for doing what. So first and foremost, we need peace to secure this country.
What is threatening peace?
What is threatening peace is the ICC itself. Because what is happening here is that it has spawned dynamics, political in nature, that seems not to be moving us towards that direction.
How is it doing it? How is ICC threatening peace?
What we are saying is the perception or the development that Sikhs are in and nobody else is in, and that we are talking about the leadership of the two communities, which are major communities. You can overlook that and say tribal or whatever you want to say. But you're talking about two major players in Kenyan political mathematics. In a year when we are headed towards an election, anybody would tell you that that doesn't augur well for the politics of this country. And whether I was, even if, I came from whichever group or I was white, as an observer, I would simply say that this is not moving well. It is good to signpost those kind of things.
So we should stop?
No, you don't stop. What people are saying is that bring these processes home, because in the conflict mediation, because what we had in 2008 was not essentially the kind of genocide you find in Yugoslavia, or this was this was a direct development from a disputed election.
Yes.
Why didn't we have this kind of violence on the 28th of December 2007? Why didn't we have it over Christmas? Why must it come after this? So it's the sin of a political process, and it can only be dealt with politically.
So if it's brought home here, you think there will be justice?
It is not about. It's not just about justice alone. It's about, in South Africa, apartheid had killed people for almost 500 years. When they sat down to think about how they are going to re-engineer the South African society, where everyone feels comfortable, they became the innovators of the TJRC through the Justice and Reconciliation Commissions. It's a scientific innovation that is directly traceable from South Africa in order to deal with a very ugly history that they had. It had the idea of justice itself. It has the idea of forgiveness. It has an idea of bringing truth to the public. And in a sense, what is coming from the displaced people, if you find it, is that the trial of the six is not going to get them from the camps.
So what should happen?
So what should happen is essentially that Kenyans need to begin merging the two processes. Bring the case home, because out there you cannot deal with them. You have no way of talking about yourself as a society. There is ODM, there is PNU. First and foremost, they agree that what we have is a political crisis. It is not a justice crisis. Because if it is a justice crisis, the Somalis in northeastern Kenya are talking about the Wagara massacre. One old man asked, why are not those who killed us not in the Hague? In 1991-92, we had violence that killed 1,500 people, displaced 250 people according to UNDP report. In 1997-98, we killed 1,500 people in Laikipia, Jolo, Moro area, and part of Uasin-Gishu. And 300,000 people were displaced. You saw the coffins. Yeah. Then in 2008, we killed 1,130 Kenyans and 600,000 displaced. Yeah. So we are talking about cycles of killings. If you heal the 2008, have you dealt with the others?
Mutegi,
Yes.
Mutegi, my friend is confusing everything. And you know that is a strategy. They want now to confuse people, to say so many things, so that we are all confused and we think that they have a solution. But it is essential to note what he has said. He doesn't want to deal with the crimes. He's saying we have to deal with it politically. So they are trying to deal with criminal offenses politically. And we are saying no. If you have committed a crime, you should face justice. It is as simple as that. If they want the Wagala massacre dealt with, then it should be dealt with. These people should be arrested. They should be prosecuted. There is something called deterrence. specific deterrence and general deterrence. Specific deterrence is when I arrest Mutegi for robbery. And so those who want to do what Mutegi has done, who are seeing that Mutegi has been punished, will fear doing that because he has been punished. If you are let free, a lot of people will be encouraged because everybody wants money. And if they think they can just carry a gun, walk into the bank, tell everybody to lie down, take the money and nothing happens, then you are going to create chaos in society. And we are saying we cannot allow that to happen. It is interesting that my friend is citing all these cases, old cases, before the ICC was formed. ICC is a recent court. You cannot approach a court that is formed today for crimes that were committed yesterday. Only crimes that are committed after the court has been established can be dealt with by the court. If the Wagala massacre had happened after the ICC was established, yes, those people actually would be at The Hague. Unfortunately for Kenyans, those crimes happened before the Rome Statute was enacted and before Kenya signed.
What do you say of that argument? They should bring your compo, those people, we try them here.
No,
why can't
he's not looking for trial. That's number one. We have to underline that.
No.
Let me finish, please. Let me finish.
Yeah.
He said very clearly he wants two things. He wants these things dealt with politically, and he wants truth, justice, and reconciliation to deal with the cases. He's not looking for the 6 to be tried here. And I'm saying no. 2, he's saying because 2 so-called leaders from 2 communities, and he's given them leadership mantle, I don't know through what process. He says they're leaders. So if you commit a crime and you're a leader...
You can tell by the number of people who come to witness to welcome them.
No, that's not how you get leadership.
They are
Just
leaders.
because
They have a
people-
following. They have a following.
No, they do, but I'm not saying they're the leaders of these communities. Because if you ask Martha Karua and other people, they will say no. And these are Kenyans also. And I'm saying that you cannot just rely on Kagwanja saying that the 2 leaders of a community. The communities have not been charged. The communities have not been accused of crime. The communities are not at The Hague.
No.
We have Uhuru Kenyatta who has been indicted, and we have William Ruto indicted. Uhuru Kenyatta is not Kikuyu. He does not represent the entire. He does not represent Mutegi, for example.
No.
Nor does Ruto represent every single Kalenjin.
No.
Or did they commit or were privy to what is allegedly was alleged to have been done by these people? No. So I am dealing with that. But it is interesting that he's also saying that truth, justice, and reconciliation can deal with this. But let me deal with that briefly. These people, unlike in South Africa, have not admitted their crimes. They're saying they're innocent. They're saying they did not commit the crime. You cannot subject anything to truth, justice, and reconciliation if you do not confess to the crime, number one. That's number one. By the way, I have masters in mediation and this process that you're talking about. So I know the process very well. So I am telling you that the first thing is you confess. And you say everything that you did.
That's what happened in Rwanda?
That's what happened. Then the people that you subjected to this crime say, okay, I agree, you are very honest, you've said everything you've done, I forgive you. But you cannot force the victim to forgive you. The victim may also say, after you have confessed, that I don't forgive you.
You must pay my cow.
You must pay for what you have done. And that is also allowed. So it's not a process that you politically engineer and say the outcome must be this. These people must be forgiven. You have to allow the witnesses and the victims to participate. In this one in Kenya,